Hey guys, britbrit here. If you want to hear all the best, easiest, and fastest ways to grind, then you are definitely in the right place. If you watched my last Pro Grinder video, this is an updated version, and I promise you that there are going to be so many new tips and tricks that you didn't see in the last video, especially since the new update came out. So yes, I'm definitely going to cover some of the same stuff and so much more. So let's get into it. If you are really serious about grinding, you can play in a private server and turn your joins off, or you can play in a public server and turn your trades off and your party invites off. I usually just turn my trades to can only trade with friends. That way I can still trade with my alt accounts that I'm going to be grinding with. So this is so awesome. Adopt Me actually gave us the option that we can toggle two different things on for the advanced pet menu and the classic needs view. So if the advanced pet menu is turned on, then you can click on your pet, and then needs, and then the pet task menu pops up. Or if you toggle it off for the advanced pet menu, then you can just click on your pet and then the task pop up. And then guys, with the classic needs view, you can toggle it on so that your task, like the pet task, actually pop up on the top of your screen like they used to. So this is the old way, and this was what everyone was so annoyed about because they wanted those on the top of their screen. Or you can toggle it off and then it's gonna be back on top of your pet like the new way had started to be. I don't know about you guys, like I don't know if you got used to this new way or if you would prefer them to be on the top of the screen. I actually really prefer if I'm playing on a computer for them to be on the top of the screen because it's just easier for me to see, and also if I'm playing games like during the Christmas update or something like that and I'm waiting and there's a bunch of people around, I can still see the task for my pet. The first thing you're going to want to set up before you start grinding is a grinding area, and you want it to be close to your front door so you can just teleport there and get right to grinding. Your grinding area does not have to be anything special, and I'm actually going to show you 3 examples. This is the grinding area in my main house, on my main account. I like everything to be really close together so I can get to everything without moving too far. Or really, kind of by just like standing in one spot, I can do all the tasks. Okay, so you need cribs, you need showers, you need pet, like food and drink bowls. And then with the new update, you now need a litter box, or you can also use the toilet that came with your house. And don't forget that there are hydrants around town that you can use when you're out and about. Then if you're serious about it, you're also going to want to have pianos so that you can do the playground task from your house. And I also like to set up my lures around that area, and also the money tree if you have one of those. And then a new addition that I've added is the mannequins. So I actually have these mannequins so that my alts can pay me the cash that they're making, or the bucks. If you have food stands, you could also set those up like the hot cocoa stand or something like that. And you can set the price to the highest that it'll go, so the maximum, and that way your alts can pay you. And they're paying you each time that you come back to the house, because I think that they have to wait every 2 minutes before they can buy from any of these things again. I actually have a whole video on how you can transfer bucks from your alt to your main account, so if you haven't watched that yet, you should definitely watch it. Something that is really helpful when you're grinding is if you are able to have the Pet Handler Pro certificate, where you can equip 2 pets at once. If you don't have the Robux, then you can actually trade for one of these, and it's good for 30 days for you to have 2 pets equipped. This is definitely not necessary, but in my opinion, it's definitely worth it. All right, so you know how your pet now gets like the cravings task? So if you eat like a certain food, then it'll give you extra XP and extra bucks. Well, doing this actually helps me save a lot of time and actually make more bucks. So I go to the grocery store and I buy like a couple of everything that they have to offer that actually cost bucks. That way they're already in my bag in case my pet gets that craving. Something else that I started doing was I started buying the apples because they're only $1, and then also the water bottles because they're only $1, and adding a bunch of them to my bag. I mean, like at any given time, I have like over 100 of each one of those things. The only reason I do that is because I find it really annoying if I just start playing and I'm not near food or drink and my pet needs to eat or drink and I can't just fulfill that task as soon as possible. So just for your information, anything like any food that you have to buy in Adopt Me that you actually have to pay bucks for is going to stay in your bag. But if you get something for free in Adopt Me, like say an apple from the school, then it's going to disappear from your bag anytime you log out of Adopt Me. Okay, so I also go to the ice cream shop and I add some ice cream cones to my bag, and they only cost $1, so those will also stay in your bag and you could collect a bunch of those. And luckily they are only 1 bite Like they only take one bite to eat. So these are actually great for you to have in your bag, especially for your alts or if you're going to be grinding as a baby, because it only takes one click to be able to eat that and fulfill that task. Okay, so if you want to have all of those things in your bag, you're not going to want to forget about going to the coffee shop and buying coffee and buying tea. And then you're also going to want to go to the baby shop and buy baby bottles and baby formula, just to have in your bag, just in case they give that craving. Also, guys, don't forget that when you're editing your house, you can actually add a water cooler and donuts that are free to your house so that you could collect those as soon as you log in. I just play Adopt Me every single day, and I was just so tired of collecting those items, and that's why I have over 100 of the apples and the water bottles in my bag at any given time. So it's really up to you just how you like to play and how often do you actually play the game. Okay, so one of the things that I mentioned in the last video is that you can actually hover over like the picture of whatever the food is, and you can see how many bites or how many drinks it's going to take to fulfill that task. That information doesn't really matter if you're talking about just feeding your pet, but if you're talking about feeding yourself as a baby or an alt as a baby, you're going to want something that takes the least amount of clicks to be able to eat or drink to fulfill that task. So with the food, it's the ice cream cones because they're only $1, or you can go to the back of the pizza parlor and you can collect any of those foods and they're all one bite like foods. And then the only drink that I found that has the least amount of drinks is the hot cocoa. It only takes 3 drinks to fulfill that task. So all of my alt accounts, I have just bought hot cocoa after hot cocoa. They all have a bunch of hot cocos on those accounts so that they can just drink hot cocoa anytime they get the drink task. Guys, you can also collect marshmallows from the campsite, and those are also just one bite eats. And if you go to the camping store, you can actually buy the premium camping kit, and it comes with the camping tent, the fire pit, a log bench, and a marshmallow stand. So you can set up the marshmallow stand, and then everybody that you're grinding with can collect from the marshmallow stand all the free marshmallows, and they're only one bite to eat. What's also nice about that is you can use the tent, and there's also another tent or sleeping bag thing that you can buy from the camping store that you could also use for the sleep task when you're outside somewhere. Something else you can buy at the pet store, if you don't have a leash, you can buy a leash there, and you can also buy the pet food there that you can use for that cravings task. All of the stuff that I just talked about, you can do just one time and be ready to grind. So when you're ready to grind, if you're grinding by yourself, then you're going to want to switch to a baby. And if you're grinding with alts, then you want your alts to teleport to you and then have them switch to babies. Then don't forget to create a family and invite each one of your alts to your family. Guys, I've had so many people tell me that you can invite the server to your family and you can make money off everybody. So I tried it out, and the only way that you can make money off that is if you're in the same spot, like fulfilling that task. So it only works if you're close by each other. So if they're at their house and they're grinding and you're at your house grinding, then it doesn't work. You don't make money off of them. Okay, so next you're going to want to make sure to set up your hotbar and also set up the hotbars for your alt accounts. So to set up the hotbar, you're going to click on the little blue box and you're going to click on it, and then you're going to scroll down on the first page all the way down to the bottom, and you're going to click Edit Hotbar. A lot of times it doesn't work for me the first time that I click it, so I always have to click it twice before it pops up and lets me edit the hotbar. Okay, so you can see I have a bunch of stuff on my hotbar, and that's because I play on a computer. So the bigger your screen is, the more boxes or the more slots that you have for your hotbar. So if you're playing on your phone and you only have 3 slots, then I would suggest you do like a stroller, a throw toy, and the magic house door, or maybe skates in a vehicle on your main account. I know there's going to be someone that's going to comment that you don't need the magic house door, and you don't need the magic house door. However, you can teleport places with your alt accounts, but you cannot reset and go home with alt accounts because they won't go with you. So they'll have to just teleport to you later. And then if I'm setting up the hotbar on my alt accounts, I'm probably going to add like hot cocoa, and then I'm probably going to add like the one bite food, and then also a throw toy because they're going to have to do that task for their pet. Okay, so something else that comes in really handy is the premium plots. So if you're able to buy it, then I definitely think it's worth it. I like to get the premium plots that's right on the beach so that I can just walk out my door when I have the beach task. Okay guys, if you didn't know, Adopt Me is on a schedule, and each day, like each Adopt Me day, is actually the same amount of time every time. Each day, like the sun comes up at 00. So at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, that's when the day starts for Adopt Me days. And also the tasks always follow each other. So one day you're going to go to the playground, then the next day you're going to go to the school, then the beach, then the pizza party, then the salon, and then back to playground, and all the way around again, over and over and over again. Okay, so when the day starts and you get one of these tasks, you're also going to get another task on your pet and on your alt accounts. Okay, so every once in a while you get the question mark task, and you actually get to pick what you do. So if you get that task but you haven't fulfilled one of these for the day, then don't click on it until right after you finish this task for the day. Because not always, but a lot of times the same task will be able to be picked. So for instance, if you had school for the task for the day and you did the school and you finished the task and then you clicked on the question mark, then one of the choices will probably be school, and you can choose it and you can just do it over again right then. The reason that you want to wait is because those tasks actually pay the most and then you don't have to go anywhere. Now this isn't always the case, but if it is, it's really helpful. All right, guys, and then every third night, the camping task pops up at 27 and 57. So at 127 and 157 and 227 and 257. And then the following day, you always get the sick task to go to the hospital. Also, guys, be sure to be using the teleporting so that you can go to all these places and get to them quicker. All you have to do is say, for instance, pull up strollers in your bag and then click the little plus, and then it'll ask you if you want to teleport to the baby shop, and you say yes, and that'll get you closer to the beach and the playground. All right, guys, just a couple more things. You can set up food stands, and you can set up more than one stand at one time. So you can set up 2 food stands and a trade stand, and you can have them all set up in the middle of town while you're grinding so you can be making some money. Or you could set up your hot cocoa stand in your grinding area so that your alts can be buying hot cocoa, so they can be adding to their inventory so that they can be collecting hot cocos for every time you're going to be grinding. Another thing that you can do to make extra money is you and your alts can actually get jobs and get paid for that, but be sure that you switch all your alts back to babies before the day is over. One thing that I have found is when I'm grinding with alts, this isn't actually necessary anymore because I'll actually go over my bucks and I won't get paid anymore for the day, like for tasks that I'm completing, once I've made so many bucks. You'll notice that at the bottom of your screen, instead of it saying britbrit XYZ is not hungry anymore, plus $10 or $10, it won't say that anymore. It'll just say that I'm not hungry anymore. So once you notice that you're not getting paid for the task anymore, you know that you've already fulfilled, like you've already hit your limit for the day, because there's only so many bucks you can make in a day. And here's a tip for when you have the vehicle and the walking task. Okay, so like right now, if the balloon unicorn had the vehicle, or she needed a ride and she needed a walk, and I was carrying her, but I had my stroller out, she's actually going to complete both of those tasks at the same time. So we're going to get credit for her walking, and we're going to get credit for her riding. And the last thing I have to add is you can actually still get healing apples from the hospital if you go up to the 2nd floor and you go all the way down to the hallway, and it's the 2nd door on the right. That's where you can get the healing apples. I get the healing apples when I'm playing as a baby, but not usually when I'm grinding with alts, because it just makes more sense to go to the hospital and get them all healed at the same time instead of trying to feed them all healing apples. Guys, as much as I try to get every single tip that I could possibly think of into a video, somehow I always forget something. So if there are any helpful tips or hints that you know that I missed, please type them in the comments below. Guys, I really hope this is helpful. Bye guys, until next time.